This is the Royals POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Kansas City Royals. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in to the Royals POSTCAST here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your go-to spot for live post-game reaction to every single Royals game this season. I'm your host, Chance Liebau, here to bring you reaction, and you can follow me on social media at Chance Liebau. Before we get into today's show, do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on our notifications if you are new. We want to see you here every single night that we have one of these shows, so be sure to hit that subscribe button for the channel. I know that these are just post-game reactions, but Jack Johnson does a fantastic job giving you weekly, daily Royals updates, especially during the the off season. So be sure to hit that subscribe button because Jack does a fantastic job, and he's going to bring you some great stuff this off season as I go into hibernation here after the weekend until April. I will be back in April after this weekend, but appreciate you guys for being here. And feel free to join the live chat. Get it bumping. It's going to be a fun show tonight because we get into some of the nitty gritty stuff. The Royals did not play very well tonight. It was a all around bad performance for the Royals tonight. I don't think you can point in one specific direction and say that they did that well. I think that while tonight's loss doesn't mean anything in terms of their postseason destination, it certainly helps them in their lottery odds. But tonight's game was frustrating in a lot of different ways. But I think that what we feel like after this loss is how we felt after a lot of games this season. I mean, just the Royals face a guy in Yusei Kikuchi who is not going to mistake you for any kind of ace, no matter which way you look at him. Not a guy that you look at as a frontline starter, a guy that you kind of fear coming into a matchup. I mean, after tonight's game, Kikuchi has a 3.99 ERA, and he gave up 2 base runners on the evening. A guy that traditionally the Royals have seen pretty well, a career ERA coming into tonight over 5 against the Royals. Tonight, I think, was a team that just had a lack of focus, a lack of intent behind many of their actions. And that is exactly what we're going to be talking about.
This is what you'll be talking about.
If you watch this game, and obviously you did because you're here, tonight a lot of things just went wrong for the Royals. The offense just never really had an approach at the plate. And against a crafty veteran, and I hate those two words being used together because they're used together way too much, but against a guy like Yusei Kikuchi, who is a guy that has been around the block a time or two. He's a guy that has some experience at the major league level and has experience against some lineups like this that the Royals threw out there tonight, some bad teams in his past. If you go out there without a true approach, without a intent behind your actions, without a focus, this is the result you get tonight. I think that there were some really bad ABs tonight. You look at what they saw from Yusei Kikuchi. He only threw 66 pitches, and he had to leave with an injury. He left with some, I believe it was back tightness, I believe is what was reported. But I just didn't think that Kikuchi was that special. And, I'm not a Yusei Kikuchi guy, but his fastball was average at 94, and that's up from where he's been at throughout his career. He's never been an overpowering fastball guy, but I mean, they just didn't get very much good contact off of Yusei Kikuchi tonight. They did not see him well, just 5 hard hit balls against him all night long. That's the most frustrating part when it comes to this Royals team is just the general lack of approach at the plate. And guys, I hope it ends. I hope it ends soon. I know that Jack has gone on the record of saying that he does not believe that Alex Zumwalt will be the hitting coach next season, or at least the main hitting coach for the Royals going into next season. And I hope that absolutely changes the fortune that this lineup has seen go against their favor this season. And that's been very frustrating to watch this lineup over and over again just fall over their feet against guys that are not that special. And not only was it sloppy at the plate where they just didn't seem to have any approach, I mean, 3 errors tonight, and I get it. You've got some guys. I mean, Jack Caglione is not comfortable in right field just yet defensively. He's made some decent plays. I thought I believe it was the 7th inning, bottom of the 7th, him getting to that ball quickly and keeping that run from scoring. I believe that was it was Shanuel who was at first. I mean, if Randall Grichuk is out there in right field, or heck, even a guy like a Hunter Renfroe out there in right field who doesn't have an especially strong arm, probably that is a run scoring for the Angels. But instead, Jack Caglione gets to it, gets the ball in quickly, one of the strongest arms in all of Major League Baseball. That is something that he does well, but has an error tonight. Stephen Kolek tosses a ball away, which scores a run. Jonathan India has yet again another error. Frustrating. And I think that at this point, they are paid. They are employees of the team. They are paid to go out there and win baseball games. But I think you're seeing a bunch of guys that are kind of just checked out. They just seem like they are ready to move into the offseason to kind of break away from what this season has become, which has been a really, really bad season. And Curtis brings up a good point here. Kolek's error was a total brain freeze. Like Guthrie said after it happened, Kolek needed to run at the runner. Yeah, and that happens sometimes. I mean, I pitched collegiately, and I mean, not much. I mean, you're not going to see me on any kind of scouting report, but I had the yips for a time, and John Lester is probably the poster child for the yips, a pitcher that is great at throwing the ball in the strike zone, on the mound as a whole, being able to throw strikes. Some guys just can't throw to bases. Some guys cannot field their position on the mound. And I think that's an example of what we saw from Stephen Kolek tonight. And while I do like Stephen Kolek as a pitcher, and we'll get into him here in a little bit, Stephen Kolek's miscue tonight was definitely one of the biggest turning points of the game. Just an absolute brain fart mistake. But those are going to happen. He's a young player. It's hard to make excuses for those guys, but he was not alone in his sloppiness this evening. It was a team effort, and the Royals just really struggled to they stumbled over their own feet multiple times this evening. And once again, we're sitting here at 11:10 on a Wednesday night talking about a Royals team that just doesn't do the little things correctly. And I think that's what's holding this team back, is just being able to field their position, move a runner over, get a runner into scoring position, and being able to score him with under 2 outs. Tonight, the Royals offense, 9 up, 9 down to start, 10 up, 10 down in total. Bobby gets into scoring position for the middle of the lineup. And I think that, more often than not this season, we've seen the middle of that lineup just struggle to perform. Vinny Pasquantino and Salvador Perez, back-to-back strikeouts against Yusei Kikuchi in that spot. You saw some life from the offense late. Randall Grichuk obviously hitting the homer, but Mike Yastrzemski getting hit by a pitch, Carter Jensen eventually knocking him in and getting the Royals' second run. You saw Adam Frazier work a great 10-pitch walk in the 8th inning. Double play from Michael Garcia. I mean, that kind of stuff has harmed the Royals all season. It's hampered them all season. It's the same things that we see on a night-in, night-out basis from Kansas City that is the reason that they're going to be sitting at home on their couches watching the rest of the teams perform in the postseason. But much of the same tonight from the Royals, offensively, defensively. We haven't seen this kind of bad night from them in a while, but just bad play all around. I think it's a team that is kind of mentally checked out. Mentally is already in October and is looking forward to getting away from this season that has been, by all intents and purposes, in their eyes, I'm sure, a disaster. So a bad day for the Royals offense today. But there is a bright spot. Stephen Kolek continues to be a shining star, a shooting star for this Royals organization, a guy that has performed extremely well. What does he do so well? We will break that down when we come back here on the Royals Postcast. All right, time now to give you our sponsors. Today's show is sponsored by Rugiet Ready. What do you get when you have a bald eagle standing on top of a silverback gorilla riding a T-Rex? Confidence, pure confidence. If you're looking for something to go beyond the usual pill, it's time to met Rugiet Go Long. Go Long combines that's exactly where Rugiet's Go Long comes in. This isn't just another ED pill. It's a total game changer for confidence. Go Long combines 2 doctor-trusted medications in one dual-action formula, so you can get hard and go the distance. The effect can last up to 36 hours. That's confidence all day, all night, and even into the next day. The process is simple. Connect with the board-certified doctor 100% online. If prescribed, your treatment ships discreetly right to your door. If prescribed, your treatment ships discreetly to your door. Ready to level up your confidence in the bedroom? Head to rugiet.com and use promo code LOCKEDONMLB for 15% off your first order. That's rugiet.com, promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Make sure to use our code so they know we sent you. Today's show is also brought to you by Gametime. There's nothing like catching a baseball game live. The energy, the crowd, the chance to see your team in person, but actually getting tickets, that's the tough part. Queues, login screens, surprise fees, it takes all the fun out of it. That's why I use Gametime, the app that gives the advantage back to fans. Gametime is fast, easy, and backed by the Gametime guarantee. You'll always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price. Plus, all fees are included, so the price you see is the price you pay. The app made it super simple. I could even see the exact view from my seat before buying. And remember, fees are included. Know your total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Gametime today. Today's show is also brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with the can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love using FanDuel because it fits however you like to bet. Player props, building a same-game parlay, or even jumping in live as the action unfolds. It's quick, easy, and the best way to add a little bit more energy to Sundays. So, are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. All right, Stephen Kolek is a guy that has just been a revelation for the Royals pitching staff, and a guy that, I mean, if you were here on the postcast, I mean, hell, even a month ago before he made his real debut, I mean, it would have even been a while longer ago. I was pushing back on the notion that they needed to call him up, they needed to give him reps because he was really struggling in Omaha at that point in time. But since he's come up at the big league level, he has shown that he's going to be a fixture in the rotation next year, allows them to be more flexible with what they do with guys like Ryan Bergert. Do you move him to a bullpen role and have him and Stephen Kolek kind of flip back and forth? Michael Lorenzen becomes very expendable. You don't bring him back next season. Michael Wacha becomes a tradable asset as well as Chris Bubich. I feel like what Stephen Kolek has given the Royals has been all that they could have asked for and more. And I just kind of wanted to get into just what makes him special. But before that, I want to name him our player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
All right, let's take a look at Stephen Kolek's numbers today. This is Baseball Savant. We're going to take a look at his player breakdown, which shows you his pitch mix, some velocity stuff. Let's take a look at where he was at today. And this is what I truly think makes him special. See all of these numbers right here. If you're following my cursor on the live stream, 34% sinker, 17% slider, 15% changeup, 14% cutter, 14% fastball, 6% sweeper. Was all over the place in terms of his arsenal tonight. And velocity, I mean, topping at 96 is not going to impress many people. It's not going to be an eye-popping number, but just the fact that he's able to mix up his pitch mix and also to get them in the strike zone, 56% in the zone. Didn't get very many whiffs tonight, just 9 whiffs all night long, which is a bit concerning. But the one thing, and this is one of the best things that I think makes Stephen Kolek so good, is the way he tunnels his pitches. It is fantastic the way he tunnels his pitches. I'm trying to find it here on Savant because usually, okay, here we go. Stephen Kolek, here it is. The way he tunnels his pitches. See the sinkers, they are all on the right-handed side, and they are all coming in on the back door. They are backdooring the batter. It's one of my favorite things about Aaron Nola, who's one of my favorite pitchers to watch in Major League Baseball, is that he uses that sinker that has a really good run and uses it to backdoor that inner half on the zone. It's something Brady Singer just never figured out how to do during his tenure with the Royals. He's picked it up this year. And the cutter, that brown pitch right there, using that on the inner half on lefties, something that Mariano Rivera did really well. Up in the zone, you're seeing the cutter. In on the zone, you're seeing it. And man, the changeup is a plus pitch. Look at the location on these changeups. This is an outlier right here, but the location on these changeups, you are wanting your changeups in this quadrant right here, down in the zone, down and in on righties. That pitch is fading this way. It is tailing this way. This is the perfect encapsulation of what Stephen Kolek does, forcing fastballs up. The way he tunnels his pitches is probably what makes him as special as he has been for the Royals this season. That's why he's been so effective, is because they've allowed him to go out and just pitch to his strengths, be a guy that tunnels that fastball, uses it up in the zone. Cutter is coming in on lefties. If you looked at the pitch mix, he's throwing a lot of cutters to lefties, sinkers to righties. At some point, the league will adjust and figure things out. They will probably adjust. That's something that you're going to see at the major league level. Guys have scouting reports. They're going to make adjustments. It would not surprise me if Stephen Kolek comes out next season and doesn't pitch well to start, because what's working for him right now might not work come next season, because there's probably going to be a book on him. But for right now, Stephen Kolek does a lot of things very, very well. And I just don't see very many holes except for fielding. That's obviously a concern of mine. But Stephen Kolek as a pitcher just continues to go on and impress me in so many different ways. I think that he is a really solid 4-starter next season. I mean, you round out the rotation with Reagans, Lugo, Berger, Kolek, and then one of Waka or Chris Bubich, or, I mean, you could throw in a lot of names there. They have plenty of options, but that is kind of what you're looking at for the 2026 rotation. Stephen Kolek's name is in pen right now for 2026 and beyond. All right, I appreciate you guys for being here with us tonight. Late night tonight, and there'll be another one tomorrow and on Friday. Like I said, I will be able to give you guys a Friday episode this week because of the fact that the Royals play so late at night. I will probably have watched maybe the last five or six innings of the game, given the fact that I'll be calling a high school game up until that point. And then on Saturday, I will not be here. I will not be able to give you a show because I will be at Jack's wedding. So if you have any problems, take it up with the Mr. and the Mrs. But I appreciate you guys for being here tonight. Be back tomorrow. Turn on notifications so you get an alert when we go live. We'll be live around 11:15 tomorrow night. And we will see you all then for another edition of the Royals Postcast.